gentle waves lapping against the hull of a grand ship, a soft breeze fluttering the curtains in your room, and the promise of adventure on the horizon. As the night settles in, close your eyes and let your mind wander back to the year 1912, when a mighty vessel called the Titanic embarked on her maiden voyage. Picture the scene, an elegant, majestic ship that seemed to touch the sky, a floating palace with every luxury imaginable, and the hum of excitement in the air. This is the story of that great ship, a story that has lived on in whispers for over a century. Let's begin, quietly, gently, as if drifting through the still waters under the moonlight. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing at the edge of a quiet harbor. You take a deep breath, and in front of you, you see the Titanic, the largest and most luxurious ship the world has ever known. It is as if a great floating palace has appeared before you, gleaming and majestic, almost too grand to believe. The sheer size of the ship is awe-inspiring. Its towering hull rises high above the water, like a gentle giant, proud and untouchable. The Titanic is more than just a ship. It's a marvel of engineering, a testament to the vision and ambition of its creators. Each detail has been crafted with perfection, from the polished brass railings to the elegant, towering smokestacks that rise toward the sky, giving the ship a regal presence. As you gaze at the ship, you can feel a sense of wonder fill the air. It seems almost surreal, a dream made real. Every curve of the ship's body is designed with grace, every deck built with the finest materials to create an experience of comfort, luxury, and indulgence. The Titanic isn't just a vessel, it's a floating city, a world in itself. The evening is calm, the air fresh and cool, carrying the scent of salt water from the ocean. There's a soft rustling of leaves in the trees surrounding the harbor, but everything else is quiet, almost as though the world has stopped to take in this moment. The sky above is clear, with only the softest hints of twilight beginning to paint the horizon in deep shades of purple and gold. The first stars begin to emerge, twinkling softly in the vastness of the night sky. Their distant light reflected in the calm water below. The Titanic stands like a pearl amidst this tranquil setting, ready to sail into the unknown. The time is 1912, and this evening marks the start of the Titanic's maiden voyage. It is the culmination of years of planning, design, and craftsmanship, and now the ship is finally about to set sail. You can sense the excitement in the air, but it is not the frantic rush of hurried voices or anxious steps. It is a quiet anticipation, a calm, shared excitement that fills the air as passengers from all walks of life gather on the decks, ready for a journey across the Atlantic. They've come from far and wide, some seeking adventure, others merely the comfort of a safe passage. And yet all have come to witness and be a part of something momentous. The soft sound of voices murmurs around you, like the gentle hum of a distant song. You hear the laughter of children, the polite chatter of well-dressed men and women, and the occasional clang of a ship's bell signaling preparations. But despite the activity, there is a profound sense of stillness. It's almost as though time has slowed, allowing everyone to take in the magnificence of what lies before them. The excitement is soft, almost reverent, as if the ship herself commands this respect. and all those aboard feel the honor of being part of something so grand. The Titanic is not just the largest ship ever built, but also the most luxurious. It boasts ornate dining rooms with crystal chandeliers that twinkle like stars themselves, grand staircases that curl like vines of gold, and cabins so comfortable it feels as if you're stepping into another world altogether. Everything about the Titanic is designed with the utmost attention to detail, ensuring that passengers would feel like royalty from the moment they step aboard until the moment they disembark. The ship's interior is as much a work of art as its exterior, with rich mahogany woodwork, soft, plush carpets underfoot, and the gentle scent of polished wood and fresh flowers in the air. As the final preparations are made, you hear the soft hiss of steam, and you feel a slight vibration beneath your feet as the engines begin to hum to life. There's a brief moment of stillness, and then the Titanic begins to move, slowly at first, as if testing the waters. The ship glides gracefully from the dock, its immense hull cutting through the calm water like a knife through silk. The sound of the engines is steady and soothing, like the deep, rhythmic pulse of a heart. You stand on the deck, watching as the harbor fades into the distance. The land, with its lights and sounds, slowly becomes a distant memory. The night is now fully upon you, and the only sound you hear is the soft lapping of the waves against the ship's hull. The stars above seem closer now, their gentle light reflecting off the water, creating the illusion that you are floating among them. The sky stretches out in all directions, infinite and peaceful, and for a moment you feel as though you have entered a timeless space where nothing can disturb the tranquility of the journey. The passengers aboard the Titanic are a mix of the world's elite and those who have saved for years to secure a place on this fabled ship. You can imagine the rich conversations that are unfolding in the grand dining rooms, the quiet laughter drifting from the lounges, and the sound of silverware clinking softly in the distance. Despite the luxury and grandeur that surround you, everything feels gentle and calming. There is no rush, no urgency. Everything moves in perfect harmony, like the sea and the sky themselves are gently guiding the ship forward. As the Titanic sails into the open sea, there is a deep sense of peace. The ocean, vast and endless, stretches out in front of you, seemingly boundless. The ship's massive presence feels so secure and steady, as if nothing in the world could disturb its passage. The water, calm and flat, reflects the soft glow of the moon, and for a moment, the ship feels like it's gliding through a dream. It's hard to believe that anything could disrupt this serenity. The world is at peace, and this moment, this journey, feels eternal. As the night deepens, the passengers find their way to their cabins, and the ship's movements slow to a gentle, soothing rhythm. The once bustling decks now quiet down, and a deep sense of calm settles over the Titanic. The engines hum steadily beneath you, a lullaby for the night, and the soft rocking of the ship in the water is the only movement you feel. You settle into your cabin, the comfort of the plush bedding surrounding you. You pull the soft blankets up to your chin, and for a moment, you listen to the sound of the ship's engines, the gentle swish of water beneath the hull, and the distant calls of seabirds in the night. Everything around you feels perfect, peaceful, Titanic moves through the water like a gentle giant, its great hull cutting through the ocean, its engines pulsing steadily, lulling you further into a state of complete relaxation. With the sound of the sigh and the soft hum of the engines, you begin to drift off into a peaceful sleep, knowing that the journey ahead will be filled with calm, tranquility, and the beauty of the open ocean. This is the beginning of the voyage aboard the Titanic, a journey like no other, serene, elegant, and full of the promise of adventure, but above all, calm and peaceful. The ship moves steadily through the ocean as the night embraces you and everything fades into the soothing embrace of sleep. And the Titanic is your gentle guide through the night, carrying you into dreams as it sails quietly across the vast, peaceful sea. As the final bell tolls, the last passengers step aboard, and the moment everyone has been waiting for is finally here. The Titanic, that magnificent floating palace, starts to stir, its engines humming with power beneath the smooth surface of the sea. The ship, which has been waiting silently in the harbor, now begins its majestic journey across the Atlantic. The night is still, the air cool and crisp, and there's a sense of quiet anticipation as the Titanic slowly begins to move away from the dock, leaving behind the bustling port of Southampton and heading into the unknown. You stand at the edge of the deck, gazing out at the world as it begins to fade away. The harbor, with its twinkling lights and soft sounds, slowly becomes a distant memory as the Titanic glides effortlessly through the water. The ship's movement is so smooth, so gentle, that it feels almost as if it's not moving at all. There's no rush, no urgency, just a slow, peaceful departure into the open sea, as if time itself has decided to slow down for this journey. The water beneath the ship is calm, the surface smooth as glass. The gentle ripples created by the ship's wake shimmers softly in the moonlight. Above, the sky is vast and clear, with stars scattered like diamonds across the dark expanse. The moon, full and bright, casts a silver glow over everything, creating an almost magical atmosphere as the Titanic sails into the night. You can't help but feel a sense of peace wash over you as the ship moves farther into the ocean. The world outside seems so far away, leaving only the soft rocking of the ship and the rhythmic pulse of the engines to keep you company. As you make your way along the deck, you notice how the passengers have settled into the comfort of their surroundings. Some have found quiet corners, sipping champagne and exchanging soft, relaxed conversation. Others lean on the railings, gazing out at the endless ocean stretching before them. There's no hurry, no noise, only the gentle hum of the ship, the soft laughter of friends and families, and the quiet murmur of voices blending with the gentle lapping of the waves. The Titanic feels like a world of its own. Inside, the ship is a picture of elegance and luxury. The grand dining rooms, which earlier had been filled with the soft rustle of linens and the clinking of fine china, are now quiet, awaiting the passengers' return for dinner. In the lounges, musicians play softly, the delicate notes of a piano or string instruments floating in the air like a lullaby. The sounds of the ship are calming and soothing, soft, steady, and peaceful. Every detail of the Titanic has been designed with serenity in mind. You you take a moment to reflect on the incredible luxury that surrounds you, the rich fabrics of the velvet chairs, the polished wood of the walls, the soft glow of the lamps casting a warm, golden light over the spaces. You pass by the grand staircase once more, admiring how the light dances across the polished brass and shining wood. It's a sight you'll never forget, how the steps seem to disappear into the quiet above, beckoning you to explore further, to discover the beauty and elegance that waits just beyond. Despite the grandeur, there's no sense of urgency. The ship isn't a place where time feels rushed. Everything about the Titanic seems to be in perfect harmony. The passengers, though from various walks of life, share the same calm excitement. The atmosphere is one of mutual enjoyment, quiet joy in being aboard such a magnificent ship, in being a part of something that feels so timeless. As the ship sails further into the night, you feel a gentle, reassuring vibration beneath your feet, the steady rhythm of the engines humming softly. There's a constant pulse to the ship, just like the heartbeat of the ocean itself. The sound is so soft, so constant, that it becomes part of the background, blending with the soft murmurs of the passengers and the distant sounds of the sea. It's the kind of sound that doesn't demand your attention, but lulls you deeper into relaxation. The air feels fresher the farther you move from the shore, the salty breeze cooling your skin. It's a refreshing feeling, the promise of adventure and freedom just ahead. The world seems so vast, yet you feel completely at ease aboard the Titanic. It's as if the ship is a sanctuary, offering comfort and tranquility, while the world outside fades away. The open sea stretches endlessly in every direction, but here, on board, there's only calm, only peace. As the ship continues its journey, the stars above seem to shine brighter, the sky more expansive. The Titanic moves through the water effortlessly, its lights twinkling softly in the distance like a beacon in the night. Everything about the ship, the soft lights, the gentle hum, the calm water, creates an atmosphere of serenity that wraps around you, inviting you to relax and surrender to the journey. You glance around and see that more passengers have made their way onto the deck, some taking in the view, others simply enjoying the peace that comes with being aboard. There is no noise, no rush. The Titanic moves like a dream through the water, a silent, elegant presence in the stillness of the night. The only sounds are the soft murmur of conversation, the occasional laugh, and the gentle swish of the water against the ship's hull. In this quiet night, there is a sense of timelessness. Everything feels perfect. The journey is only just beginning, and already you know that this voyage will be unlike any other. There's nothing but the soft, steady motion of the ship, the rhythmic hum of its engines, and the endless, tranquil sea stretching out before you. The world is peaceful, and the Titanic carries you forward into the night, moving gently, like a lullaby that draws you deeper into relaxation. The Titanic sails steadily into the night, each moment calm and serene. The soft sounds of laughter and clinking glasses are reminders that this is a journey meant to be savored, one filled with quiet joy and gentle excitement. The ship moves on, leaving behind the whirl of the shore, and carrying everyone aboard into the peaceful embrace of the open ocean. everything about the Titanic, its grandeur, its beauty, its steady hum, creates an atmosphere of comfort, inviting you to relax, unwind, and let the night unfold at its own pace. Aboard the Titanic, every moment is an invitation to indulge in the finest luxuries life has to offer. The ship is a sanctuary of elegance, where each corner is designed to ensure comfort and relaxation. As you walk through the ship's grand spaces, there's a sense of calm and serenity that envelops you, as if time itself has slowed down, allowing you to fully appreciate the beauty around you. From the moment you step aboard, you are surrounded by the ultimate in luxury. The grand dining rooms are nothing short of spectacular. The tables are set with crisp white linens, glistening silverware, and sparkling crystal glasses that catch the soft light of the chandeliers above. The atmosphere is calm, yet elegant, as guests are seated to enjoy their meals in the lap of luxury. The rich scent of gourmet food fills the air, blending with the warmth of polished wood and the soft murmur of conversation. The waiters, graceful and attentive, glide between the tables, their movements as fluid as the soft music playing in the background. Every detail is designed to elevate your experience, from the expertly crafted dishes to the impeccable service that ensures every need is met with quiet ease. But it's not just in the dining rooms where the Titanic's luxury is felt. The plush lounges are quiet retreats where passengers gather to relax, sip their drinks, or simply enjoy the peaceful atmosphere. Soft velvet chairs and deep, inviting sofas beckon you to sink into them, the gentle glow of the lamps casting a warm, golden hue across the room. You can hear the soft laughter of friends gathered together, or the murmur of a quiet conversation. But everything is calm, unhurried, and graceful. There's no rush to go anywhere or do anything. It's a moment to be fully present, to savor the luxury that surrounds you. Outside, the decks stretch wide, offering a peaceful place for passengers to stroll and enjoy the ocean breeze. Gentle strolls along the deck are an experience in themselves. The soft rhythm of the ship as it cuts through the water, the salt air brushing against your skin, and the sound of your footsteps on the polished wood create a peaceful, dreamlike atmosphere. Some passengers stop to gaze out at the vast ocean, while others walk in pairs, taking in the beauty of the endless horizon. For those seeking more solitude, cozy corners on the ship invite you to relax with a good book. In quiet nooks, you can see passengers reading in plush armchairs, their faces softened by the gentle light, absorbed in their stories. Every part of the ship offers a space where you can enjoy life at a relaxed pace, where luxury meets comfort, and where every detail is designed for your enjoyment. The soft, gentle sounds of the ship, conversations, the occasional laughter, the rustle of pages turning, fill the air, creating a peaceful symphony of life aboard. It's the kind of atmosphere that invites you to forget about the world beyond the ship, to lose yourself in the beauty of the moment, and to simply relax. The Titanic is not just a ship, it is an experience, a place where time slows down, where every detail is designed to make you feel at ease, and where the only thing that matters is enjoying the luxury that surrounds you. The Titanic offers an unparalleled experience of relaxation, making it a true sanctuary for its passengers. Beyond the dining rooms and lounges, the ship is equipped with every amenity you could imagine, ensuring that each guest has the opportunity to unwind and indulge in peace. The spas aboard the ship are serene havens of tranquility, where guests can enjoy soothing treatments designed to relax both the body and mind. The soft, fragrant scents of essential oils fill the air as the sound of calming music gently floats through the room. Massages, facials, and soothing baths are all available, allowing guests to fully immerse themselves in relaxation, letting go of any stress that may have followed them aboard. For those who prefer more active forms of relaxation, the Titanic offers theaters where performances are held regularly. The soft glow of the theater lights sets the stage for beautifully staged performances, where every note of music and every line of dialogue is delivered with elegance. Guests sit in plush velvet seats, the atmosphere hushed with anticipation. The sound of the orchestra fills the room, accompanied by the gentle, rhythmic hum of the ship's engines. The experience is immersive and serene, each performance offering an opportunity to indulge in art and culture while enjoying the peaceful atmosphere of the ship. There are also quiet rooms for those who seek the ultimate escape. These rooms are designed specifically for moments of solitude, with soft chairs and the gentle warmth of the ship's lighting. The world outside disappears as you sink into the comfort of these peaceful spaces. Passengers can be found in these quiet retreats, enjoying some much-needed alone time, whether it's for reflection, reading, or simply allowing their minds to wander. The ship, with its calming hum and constant motion, becomes a cocoon for relaxation, wrapping its passengers in a sense of calm that is hard to find in the busy world beyond. Everything about the Titanic's amenities is designed to offer a sense of calm indulgence. There's no rush, no pressure to do anything other than enjoy the voyage at your own pace. Whether you're indulging in a soothing spa treatment, enjoying a quiet show in the theater, or simply sitting on the deck with the ocean breeze against your face, every moment aboard is about finding peace and relaxation. There's no hurry, just the quiet joy of being in the moment, surrounded by beauty and comfort. The Titanic has truly become a sanctuary for those aboard, offering an experience that is as much about relaxation as it is about luxury. It's a place where you can leave behind the noise and stress of the outside world and find refuge in the calm rhythms of life on the sea. Each passenger finds their own way to relax, whether through the peaceful embrace of a quiet room, the rejuvenating touch of a spa treatment, or the serene joy of a leisurely stroll along the deck. There's a sense of timelessness aboard, where the outside world feels far away, and only the gentle hum of the ship, the soft ocean breeze, and the serene luxury of the ship remain. The Titanic offers a gentle escape, a place where time slows down, and every detail is crafted for your indulgence. Life aboard is a quiet symphony of relaxation, from the peaceful lounges to the tranquil spa, from the soft laughter of fellow passengers to the steady hum of the ship as it carries you through the calm, starry night. The ship has become a sanctuary, a haven of peace and luxury where every moment feels like a dream, unfolding in slow, calming motion. As the Titanic continues its graceful voyage across the Atlantic, The ship glides smoothly through the still, calm waters. The night is clear and serene, the stars shining brightly above, casting their soft glow on the ocean's surface. The air is crisp, with a gentle breeze that carries the faint scent of the sea, and the atmosphere on board remains peaceful. Passengers are immersed in the luxury and tranquility of their journey, savoring each moment as the ship moves steadily toward its destination. But deep in the ship's communication room, the radio operators are receiving a different kind of message, one that's far less serene. Reports of icebergs have been coming in from nearby ships, warning of floating ice along the Titanic's path. These warnings are passed along to the ship's officers, but the mood aboard the Titanic remains confident and calm. The ship is the largest of its kind, a marvel of modern engineering, and it has been touted as unsinkable. There is no fear, no urgency. The Titanic is seen as invincible, and nothing, it seems, could stand in its way. The sea remains as smooth as glass, the waves barely rippling as the ship moves forward. The night is clear, with the moon casting its silver glow over the ocean, creating a peaceful and almost hypnotic atmosphere. On deck, passengers continue to enjoy their evening. The soft hum of conversation and the distant sound of music, creating a quiet symphony that fills the air. The illusion of safety is all-encompassing. With the sky so clear and the sea so calm, it feels as though the world is holding its breath, caught in a moment of perfect tranquility. The Titanic moves forward with a sense of serene certainty, unaware of the danger that lurks just ahead. Despite the warnings, the ship maintains its full speed. The night stretches out ahead like an endless journey, and there is little reason to worry. The officers on board remain calm, reassured by the ship's design and her safety features as they continue to navigate through the peaceful sea. There is no sign of trouble, just the steady rhythm of the ship's engines, the soft rocking of the decks beneath your feet, and the serene beauty of the ocean surrounding you. The Titanic continues on, cutting through the water with grace, its presence a silent testament to human achievement. But beneath the quiet exterior of the voyage, the sea holds a secret, one that will soon be revealed in a moment of violent, tragic consequence. Around 11:40 p.m., the serenity of the night is shattered. A soft thud reverberates through the ship, barely noticeable at first. For a moment, the passengers don't understand what has happened. The Titanic sways slightly, and the smooth, steady motion is momentarily interrupted. Some passengers glance around, unsure of what they've felt. Could it have been a shift in the water? A momentary jolt from a wave? There's no immediate sense of alarm, just confusion and the gentle sound of voices drifting through the ship. But below deck, in the heart of the ship, things are far from calm. The iceberg, which had been invisible in the dark, has torn into the Titanic's starboard side, striking the hull with devastating force. The damage is catastrophic. The iceberg has ripped through several compartments of the ship, causing the hull to flood. Water begins to pour in, but the magnitude of the damage is not immediately apparent to the passengers above. The ship continues its forward motion, unaware of the deepening crisis unfolding beneath its decks. As the Titanic sways slightly, passengers continue on, convinced that the jolt was merely an inconvenience, a slight disturbance in the otherwise smooth journey. Some feel a gentle rocking, others notice the change in the ship's movement, but most dismiss it as nothing more than a temporary shift. There is no panic, no chaos, only a brief moment of uncertainty. Many passengers continue their leisurely activities, some stepping out onto the deck to enjoy the cool night air, unaware of the severe damage the ship has sustained. The officers on board, however, quickly realize the severity of the situation. The damage is far worse than anyone could have imagined. The ship, despite its great size and strength, is beginning to sink. But the passengers remain largely unaware, enveloped in the peaceful illusion that the Titanic is as invincible as it had been claimed. There is no sign of panic, only confusion, as the ship's officers work quickly to assess the damage and formulate a plan. For now, the quiet hum of the ship's engines continues to provide a calm rhythm. But beneath the surface, a silent battle for the ship's survival has already begun. The steady motion of the ship as it moves through the ocean seems to carry on as normal, but the reality is far different. The Titanic, so grand and secure in the minds of its passengers, is now in a fight against time, against nature, and against the very elements that seem so distant and serene under the calm night sky. The impact of the iceberg was swift and silent, like the storm before the calm. The ship continues on its course, unaware of the impending doom, and yet beneath the surface, the Titanic is already beginning to succumb to the damage it has sustained. The calm that surrounds the ship, the stillness of the ocean, the peaceful beauty of the night will soon be shattered. The journey that once seemed so secure, so serene, is about to take a tragic and irreversible turn. The Titanic continues its voyage, but the gentle rocking of the ship, the steady hum of its engines, and the peaceful rhythm of the sea all begin to fade into the background. Below deck, in the dimly lit compartments, the crew is beginning to realize the full extent of the disaster. The water, which was once a distant, harmless presence, is now creeping steadily into the ship. There is no turning back. The sound of rushing water fills the lower decks, a terrifying reminder of the severity of the damage. The ship, once a symbol of invincibility, now seems fragile, vulnerable. The crew works quickly, urgently, as they begin to assess the flooding. It's clear that the Titanic's compartments are filling faster than anticipated. Panic begins to seep through the crew, the realization sinking in that the Titanic, once declared unsinkable, is now in serious peril. Up on deck, the passengers continue with their evening, unaware of the gravity of the situation. They are still caught in the illusion of safety. The sea is calm, the stars above are clear, and everything feels as though it is going as planned. But the truth begins to slowly spread, like ripples in water, creeping through the ship. The Titanic is sinking. For a moment, disbelief fills the air. Many passengers still don't understand the full extent of the damage. They feel a slight shift in the ship's motion, perhaps a subtle change in the way the Titanic moves. But they brush it aside. It could just be a bump, a minor inconvenience. The Titanic is the largest, most luxurious ship in the world. Nothing could bring her down, or so they thought. Yet despite the calm exterior, the ship's fate is slowly sealed. The sea, which had once seemed so calm and welcoming, is now a looming threat as the water begins to pour in relentlessly through the gaping wounds left by the iceberg. The Titanic's majestic frame begins to sag, a subtle tilt that goes unnoticed by most passengers, yet is increasingly evident to the crew. The great ship, once a masterpiece of engineering, now seems fragile and helpless against the power of nature. The truth, undeniable and unavoidable, begins to settle over the ship. The Titanic is sinking. As the realization spreads, there is a moment of confusion, disbelief, and fear. The ship's proud reputation, built on promises of invincibility, crumbles before the very eyes of its passengers. Panic, though slow at first, starts to stir. In the hearts of the crew, there is a growing sense of urgency. This ship, which was built to defy nature, is now at its mercy. The slow, steady flooding of the lower decks is a reminder that the Titanic is far from unsinkable. And as the passengers begin to understand the gravity of the situation, a quiet, cold fear begins to spread through the ship. The lifeboats, small, fragile vessels that seem out of place on a ship as grand as the Titanic, become the focus of the growing panic. The realization that there are not enough lifeboats for everyone on board hits hard. The Titanic, which had been built with every imaginable luxury, had never been equipped with enough lifeboats for all its passengers. There were regulations in place, but they had never anticipated something like this. As the severity of the situation becomes clearer, the crew begins to sound the alarms, urging passengers to evacuate. The calm, leisurely atmosphere that had permeated the ship only hours before now shatters into confusion and fear. Passengers are hurriedly directed to the lifeboats, but the sense of urgency is met with resistance. Many still cannot believe what is happening. The sea is calm. The ship is magnificent. How could this vessel, this symbol of safety, be sinking? Panic sets in as passengers crowd the decks, uncertain of what to do, where to go. The lifeboats are quickly filled, but not enough for everyone. The chaos is palpable as people scramble for a place in the boats. Some are hesitant, still not fully grasping the situation, while others push forward in desperation. The lifeboats, which should have been lowered in an orderly fashion, are hurriedly launched, and many are half filled. The confusion only intensifies as people are forced to make impossible decisions. Women and children are given priority in the evacuation process, but even that is met with confusion. Some are escorted to the lifeboats, but others are left behind, waiting for a chance to board. The panic is spreading rapidly now. Those who have been given lifeboat space try to calm their nerves, but the uncertainty of the situation is clear in their faces. The passengers who remain on board are in a race against time, but many still do not understand the severity of the situation. Some passengers continue to wander, waiting for more information, hoping that help will arrive, that the Titanic will not truly sink. The realization that the Titanic is sinking comes too late for many. The crew struggles to maintain order, but it's clear that there are not enough lifeboats for everyone. The remaining passengers are left standing, watching helplessly as the lifeboats are lowered into the cold, dark sea. The ship is now tilting more noticeably, the water creeping higher, the great ship's engines still running, but no longer with any sense of purpose. The Titanic is no longer a symbol of strength. She is a sinking vessel, carrying her passengers toward a tragic end. In the midst of the chaos, the lifeboats continue to be lowered. Some escape safely, but many are left behind as the Titanic's grand hull sinks deeper into the water. The once proud ship, with its gleaming decks and opulent interiors, now seems like a distant dream, a fading memory. The sound of the lifeboats hitting the water is drowned by the growing panic, and the cold night air is filled with cries for help, echoes of disbelief, and the realization that the ship is beyond saving. As the Titanic sinks lower into the sea, the lifeboats drift farther from the ship, leaving behind those who didn't make it in time. The once grand vessel, which promised a journey of peace and luxury, now lies broken and sinking beneath the weight of its own tragedy. The ocean, calm and still just hours ago, has become an unforgiving force, carrying away what was once thought indestructible. The Titanic's fate is sealed, and all that remains is the race against time to survive. The Titanic's fate is sealed, and the serene atmosphere that once defined its journey has been replaced by chaos. The ship's massive hull, once a symbol of engineering triumph, is now a disadvantage as it begins to list and tilt, the immense weight of the sinking vessel proving too much to bear. The flooding, which had started gradually, has now worsened, and the ship is sinking faster than anyone had anticipated. The once steady and confident movements of the ship are replaced by the terrifying sensation of it slowly sinking deeper into the cold, unforgiving sea. The Titanic's massive size, which had been a symbol of its strength, is now its greatest vulnerability. The sheer scale of the ship makes it harder to move, and the tilting is becoming more pronounced. Passengers, once leisurely enjoying the comforts of the Titanic, are now scrambling in panic, desperate to find safety. The once calm halls are now filled with the sounds of hurried footsteps, the rustling of clothing, and the frantic calls of those looking for their loved ones. Crew members do their best to direct people, but the situation is spiraling out of control. The life-saving lifeboats, so carefully placed on deck earlier in the journey, are already at capacity. There is no room left for everyone. As the ship's tilt increases, passengers make their way toward the lifeboats, but the path is treacherous. Water begins to rush through the lower decks, and the ship's lower levels are already flooded. Panic takes hold of many as they realize that they are running out of time. Some are already in lifeboats, but others, still unsure of the magnitude of the danger, hesitate, waiting for instructions, waiting for something to change. But nothing changes. The Titanic continues to sink. For those left behind, the choice is clear. Face the freezing cold of the Atlantic Ocean, or stay aboard a sinking ship. The freezing temperatures outside make the water a deadly threat, and those who have made it into the lifeboats know just how precious and fragile the opportunity to escape truly is. Every second matters. Every lifeboat lowered is a moment of fleeting safety. And yet for many, it is too late. The cold grips the sea, and the passengers who remain on board can only watch in terror as the situation worsens. The Titanic's stern rises higher as the bow sinks lower into the ocean. The ship's powerful engines now silent in the face of nature's overwhelming force. The once majestic, imposing ship is now a broken, helpless vessel listing dangerously to one side. The decks, which had once been filled with calm voices and the laughter of passengers enjoying their journey, are now filled with the sounds of screams, cries of terror and desperation that echo through the night. The chaos has overtaken the ship. People run, trip, and scramble over one another, frantic to reach the lifeboats. The lower decks are flooded, and as the bow sinks lower into the water, it becomes harder to move. The ship's tilt creating a treacherous climb. Those who are still on board are fighting for their lives, trying to reach the lifeboats, but the path is blocked by water and the growing panic of those around them. The once calm sound of the ship's engines is now replaced by the crashing waves, the heavy thud of water filling the compartments below, and the screams of people realizing the full scope of the disaster. On deck, the atmosphere is filled with desperation. The once tranquil air has been replaced by the frantic noise of people trying to escape, shouting to one another, trying to find loved ones, to get to safety. The stars, which had once shone so peacefully above, now seem cold and distant, mere observers of the tragedy unfolding below. The ship continues to break apart under the weight of the water, and the force of the sinking becomes more pronounced. The great ship's final moments are now unfolding, and the passengers aboard are at the mercy of the ocean. The ship's enormous stern rises higher, as if it's reaching toward the stars in a last, desperate plea for survival. But the ocean is unforgiving, and no amount of engineering, no amount of hope can save the Titanic now. The hull begins to crack, the sounds of metal groaning and splintering filling the air. Passengers still on board are left with no choice but to face the harsh reality of the freezing waters below, and the lifeboats, already lowered into the ocean, are too far away for most to reach. As the ship's final moments draw closer, the screams grow louder, the splashes of water more frantic. The atmosphere is suffocating, the air heavy with fear, and the sound of panic. The Titanic's luxurious interior, once the height of opulence, is now a haunting memory, a distant echo of a world that no longer exists. The once grand dining rooms are flooded, the polished floors now submerge in icy water, the elegant furnishings now twisted and broken. The passengers who remain on board are trapped in a nightmare, unable to escape as the ship breaks apart. The ship continues to sink, its stern now almost vertical, towering above the ocean as the Titanic begins to split in half. The final moments of the ship are filled with the sound of cracking, screaming, and the rushing of water as the great vessel succumbs to the relentless power of the sea. And then, with one final, terrifying lurch, the Titanic plunges into the cold depths of the Atlantic. The once mighty ship, which had carried so many dreams and hopes, now lies at the bottom of the ocean, its legacy forever marked by the tragedy of its final journey. The once serene voyage has turned into an unimaginable disaster. The sounds of screams, the panic, the crashing of the ship as it breaks apart, all echo in the darkness of the night, swallowed by the vast, unforgiving ocean, the Titanic has fallen, and with it, the dreams of those aboard. The passengers who remain must now fight to survive in the icy waters. The ship no longer a beacon of safety, but a tragic reminder of the fragility of human ambition against the power of nature. As the Titanic continues to sink, the bow of the ship dips deeper into the icy waters, its massive weight dragging it slowly down, while the stern rises higher into the air, as if the ship itself is desperately reaching for the sky. The once proud vessel, now listing at a steep angle, creaks and groans under the pressure of the ocean's weight. The propellers at the back of the ship are exposed to the open air, their massive forms silhouetted against the black sky, as the ship's front end sinks further beneath the surface. The lights of the Titanic flicker once more, casting eerie, last-minute shadows across the deck. The gentle hum of the engines is now replaced with the deafening sound of metal screeching under strain. The ship's structure buckles, the force of the sinking causing it to break apart, slowly but surely. The air fills with the dreadful sound of cracking metal, the ship's skeleton struggling against the crushing weight of the ocean. There's a moment of horror, a final, fleeting sense of disbelief as the ship, once a symbol of strength, begins to disintegrate before the passengers' eyes. In the distance, the Titanic's lights flicker one final time, first dimming, then completely vanishing into the cold darkness of the ocean. For those still aboard, it is a surreal, almost dreamlike sight. The ship, now broken and gasping for air, finally succumbs to the ocean's grip, vanishing beneath the waves. There is a deep silence for just a moment, and then the ship is gone. The Titanic, once the greatest ship ever built, disappears into the abyss, leaving only a wake of foam and wreckage in its place. The Titanic is gone, but for the survivors, the battle for life is only beginning. The freezing cold of the Atlantic is a merciless enemy, and the survivors are left alone in the dark, icy waters of the ocean. The ship's once grand decks are now submerged, and the passengers who were unable to escape the sinking ship find themselves clinging to whatever they can. Bits of wreckage, life rafts, anything that might offer a chance at survival. The water is bitterly cold, sending sharp chills through the survivors' bodies. The frostbite and the unforgiving cold are immediate threats. As they drift in the freezing ocean, surrounded by the remnants of the ship, the survivors struggle to hold on to floating debris. Many clutch pieces of the ship's broken hull or bits of wood, hoping for some sort of safety. But the cold is relentless. The vast ocean seems to stretch on forever, an endless, empty expanse that only amplifies the feeling of isolation and fear. The survivors can hear nothing but the soft rush of water and the occasional cry of someone calling out for help, their voices drowned by the cold. There is little chance of survival in these frigid waters without immediate help. The ship's Carpathia has been sent to rescue those still alive, but it is miles away, and it will take hours to arrive. The survivors know this, and the hope of rescue feels distant, almost unreachable. Yet in the quiet of the night, a faint sound can be heard, a soft whistle in the distance, the faint hum of the Carpathia's engines. For some, it's a lifeline, a beacon of hope amidst the cold, dark expanse of the Atlantic. But it is a long wait. The survivors are left alone in the night, adrift in the freezing waters. Their strength is fading, their bodies becoming numb, as the icy water seeps deeper into their bones. With each passing minute, the reality of their situation sets in. Some passengers continue to cry for help, others huddle together for warmth, but the cold and the isolation are overwhelming. They are at the mercy of the ocean. The Carpathia's arrival, their only chance. News of the Titanic disaster spreads quickly, and the world is soon gripped by shock and disbelief. The loss of life is staggering, and the tragedy becomes the subject of conversations, news reports, and endless speculation. The Titanic's fate, once thought impossible, now seems like a grim reminder of the limitations of human ingenuity. Families all over the world mourn the loss of their loved ones, their faces filled with grief as they wait for word of survivors. For many, the search for loved ones lost at sea is a harrowing ordeal, full of uncertainty and heartache. The stories of those who survived, the brave souls who endured the icy waters and the chaos of the sinking ship, spread quickly. These survivors share their harrowing tales, recounting the panic and fear they experienced as they struggled to escape the doomed vessel. The ship's unsinkable reputation is shattered, and the world is left questioning how such a tragedy could happen. What went wrong? What could have been done to prevent it? As the news spreads, these questions are at the forefront of every conversation. The Titanic's legacy is now forever marred by its tragic end, and the world is forced to reflect on the fragility of life and the unpredictable nature of fate. The fall of the Titanic becomes a somber reminder of human arrogance, pride, and the unpredictability of nature. The ship's designers had believed they had created the ultimate vessel, a ship so grand, so strong that it could withstand anything. But the iceberg proved that nature would always remain unpredictable, and the ship's size and strength were no match for the forces of the ocean. In the wake of the disaster, reforms in maritime safety are implemented. New laws are passed, requiring enough lifeboats for every person on board, and improved safety protocols are established to ensure that no ship will ever again set sail without these essential precautions. The tragedy of the Titanic becomes a pivotal moment in the history of maritime travel, sparking changes that will save countless lives in the future. The Titanic's story doesn't end with it sinking. The ship lives on in the memories of those who survived, in the stories passed down through generations, and in the memorials and monuments that have been built to honor the lost. Its legacy is preserved in books, films, and documentaries that continue to tell the story of the ship's ill-fated voyage. It is a legacy of both human achievement and the humbling reminder that no matter how great our creations, we are always at the mercy of nature's power. The Titanic's story will never be forgotten. It remains a poignant reflection on the fragility of life and the unpredictable forces that shape our destinies. The Titanic will always be remembered, not just for the tragedy, but for the lessons it taught the world. Lessons that continue to resonate with us to this day. The final resting place of the Titanic, deep at the bottom of the ocean, remains a site of quiet reflection, a place where the memory of the ship's grandeur and its tragic fall are forever intertwined. As the years pass, the wreckage of the Titanic lies in its eternal slumber, covered by the cold, dark waters of the Atlantic. Though the ship is no longer visible above the surface, its legacy remains alive in the story shared by those who survived, the lessons learned from the disaster, and the countless memorials that honor those who perished that fateful night. Beneath the waves, the Titanic lies in stillness, its once proud decks now consumed by the ocean. The ship's final moments, filled with fear and desperation, are now part of history, a chapter that cannot be erased, a chapter that continues to echo through time. Yet even in its resting place, there is a sense of peace. The turbulent waters that once raged around the ship now cradle it in quiet darkness. In the calm depths of the ocean, the Titanic finds its final, tranquil home. The serene journey of the Titanic, filled with grandeur and hope, and the tragedy of its fall, are forever entwined in history. The ship was a symbol of human ambition, strength, and ingenuity, a creation that seemed destined to sail into the future until nature's unpredictable forces shattered that dream. But in its destruction, the Titanic has also left behind a legacy of lessons learned. It has become a cautionary tale of overconfidence and the importance of respecting the forces of nature. The ship's fall reminds us that no matter how grand our creations, they remain vulnerable to the unknown. The Titanic's legacy, both its triumphs and its tragedy, will continue to resonate for generations to come. It reminds us to never take safety for granted, to value the lives aboard every journey, and to be ever mindful of the unpredictable elements that shape our world. As the years pass, the lessons of the Titanic continue to echo, influencing maritime laws, safety protocols, and the way we approach the vast, mysterious ocean that claimed the great ship. In the stillness of the ocean, where the Titanic rests, there is a quiet peace, a peace that will forever honor the lives lost and the lives saved, and a peace that will carry the memory of the Titanic for as long as the sea endures. As we reflect on the Titanic, its voyage, its fall, and its legacy, we are reminded of the fragility of life, the power of nature, and the enduring spirit of those who were touched by this incredible story. And so, the Titanic sails on, not across the ocean, but through time, a timeless reminder of both human achievement and humility, forever etched in history, forever carried in our hearts.